I never wanted any of this. I was just trying to start over, get clean, build something good with Christian, my fiance, and leave the worst of my past behind. But then I found the board, and everything changed. How it began. I was recovering from heroin addiction, trying to rebuild with Christian. He had a dream: open a restaurant in New Orleans' French Quarter in a renovated carriage house where we live. Life was slowly improving. Then one day, while Christian and I were out gathering mushrooms for the restaurants, the farm-to-table dreams, I stumbled into something that felt both accidental and inevitable. In the forest, I saw it: an ancient wooden board, more specifically, a pendulum board. It had recently been stolen from a museum. I didn't know its full history yet, only that it was beautiful, weird, otherworldly. I picked it up. The lure. At first, the board seemed like it might be harmless. I showed it to Christian's ex, Brooke, who's an antiquities expert. She told me some of the symbols were occult, maybe dangerous, but interesting. I discovered a strange pendulum hanging from it, made from a human finger bone. That should have been a red flag. But something in me wanted answers, wanted things to make sense. And in the board's way, I thought it was doing that. I believed it was helping me tap into my subconscious. It helped me locate my lost engagement ring, which felt miraculous, especially given how often I lose things: myself, my past, my self-esteem. Christian was supportive but uneasy. The board seemed to grant small favors. Then the dead ends began turning into dead people. Richie, Christian's employee and friend, had a freak accident in the kitchen. A meat slicer, hand dismembered, blood everywhere. He didn't survive. Then Jesse, my old dealer, died from a fall from a rooftop. Violent, sudden, awful. Each time the board seemed involved. Each time I felt less safe, less like myself, more like something was slipping in around me. Visions in past lives. Soon I started seeing her, Naga Soth, a powerful witch from 1690s Lorraine, France. I saw her become outcast by her village, condemned by Bishop Grogan. I saw how she was persecuted, how she cursed them, and worse, how the board was created, stained with her blood, used for vengeance. The board wasn't just a tool, it was her legacy, her prison, her weapon. At first, I thought these were just nightmares or hallucinations triggered by guilt, by fear, maybe relapse. But they were more. I was living her. I was becoming her. The board's powers didn't just open portals to the past. They were erasing the boundary between then and now. Christian finds help. Christian saw me slipping away. He worried about my mental state. He tried to convince me to turn over the board to the authorities when he learned it was stolen, and when he saw that people who handled it before had died. But I resisted. Fear of being suspected because of my past, because of the drug arrests, shame, pride. A belief that maybe if I could control it, I could control this version of myself. We brought in someone who claimed to help, Alexander Baptiste, or Baptiste, depending on whom you ask. He was an occult scholar, friendly enough. Brooke introduced him. I thought maybe he could save me from the nightmares, the possession. Only it wasn't a rescue. Not really. The turning point. One night, during what should have been a joyous event, the grand opening of Christian's restaurant, everything collapsed. I was changed. Nagasoth's consciousness took over my body. In one moment, I was me. In the next, I was her. Alexander orchestrated the ritual, or whatever it was, that caused a trance, a time swap, a possession. My body inhabited by Nagasotho, and my soul somehow transplanted back in time, strapped to her fate. The restaurant guests were poisoned. Mushrooms served as food, and they began hallucinating, turning on one another in carnage that mirrored Nagasotho's vengeance centuries earlier. Confrontations. Brooke tried to save Christian. Christian fought back. I, or she, fled with Alexander to his estate. It was there I learned things I hadn't known, or suspected, that Christian is descended from Bishop Grogan, the man who persecuted Nagasotho, and that I, through ancestry or lineage, am connected to her too. That my own mother was involved somehow. She died performing a ritual with the board years ago, trying to summon Nagasotho, or perhaps trying to prevent something. Alexander wanted to control Nagasotho as part of his modern coven. He wanted immortality, power. And for a while, with the board in his hands, he had leverage. Christian fought. He managed to throw the board into the fireplace, the classic destroy the artifact move. Alexander shot him, but the board, burning, forced something ancient and terrible to happen. Nagasotho's soul going back in time to her original body, to the moment before execution. In the past, as she was about to be burned at the stake, Nagasotho refuses to die. She uses magic to protect herself from the flames, overcomes Bishop Grogan, drags him into the fire with her. Then the loop reverses. Emily's soul returns to her body in the present. Alexander, trying to rescue the board from the fire, is shot by me. Christian dies of his wounds, but not before giving me something. Maybe forgiveness, maybe closure. Aftermath and the ending. The police descend. Alexander is supposedly dead, or at least shot. But then there's that moment, placed in a body bag, zipping the bag closed, but he opens his eyes. I think we both know, evil doesn't always die so cleanly. Brooke and I later go to the Vatican. I needed help disposing of the board, or maybe just to get it far away. We hand over the pendulum, hoping that's enough. But then the priest, tempted, begins to communicate with the board. And I see Nagasotho behind him, that look in her eyes. She's not gone. What it all felt like? Fear, guilt, shame, love, all tangled up. The past does not stay buried. I wanted redemption, but instead I got possession. The lines between self and spirit blur until you don't know who you are anymore. What's yours, what's mine, what centuries of suffering forced into you. And even though Christian is gone, even though I lost a lot, I survived. But survival doesn't mean escape. The board still exists. The curse still lives. Sometimes I wake up knowing Nagasotho's voice is inside me. Not always loud, but present.